my vulnerable story, as I call it, because I felt really bad. I think, because I shared that with you before. But it really made me think of how much more work there is to be done in that space. And even though I'm definitely one of those naive ones that likes to think what is one place and we all equal. I know obviously it's not as easy. But I was once in a training. It was a 4-week. It was external training. It was nothing to do with the organizations I work for. It was 4 weeks training. Every week we would have 2 facilitators. They would change. But on the last meeting I came, I remember entering the room and there was one new facilitator. And I remember the feeling in me, like this kind of physiological feeling like, oh, I'm disappointed. I didn't know why, but I had this feeling. And as we were going through the training, I realized I was disappointed with the facilitator a little bit. And then because of what I'm doing and what I'm believing in, I've just realized that a bias is kicking in because there was a man of color. So
okay.
So wow. I was like, oh my God, I realized I was biased. That sounds awful because I would never like to call myself this way, but I know that's what it was. And I thought to myself, no, we're not going that way. Let's stop and let's tune in. Let's listen to him and see if I'm dismissing what he's saying because he's talking rubbish, or is it my bias? And what I realized, but that's thoughtful process, that had to be very, very thoughtful process. I actually listened to him for that. I realized that one, of course, he wasn't talking rubbish. It was just me being biased, basically. But also I've noticed that what he was doing, he wasn't, I think that links back to that confidence element. He was constantly looking at the other presenter, who was a white man, for reassurance. And I was thinking, and I was starting to count how many times was it like, if you keep doing that, you are sending signals to others that you're not confident in what you're saying. So how many people in this room are so conscious as I am? How many people are actually going through that thought process as I am? Obviously, we can't. And by the way, everybody in that room was white. He was the only.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So it's like, this is so tough because even picking up on those I know it's called micro messages. I bet he has been experiencing that through his life. The micro messages is maybe the face glimpse. It might have been a glimpse on my face when I saw him. That probably was the case. If I was disappointed, probably it was a glimpse on my face or something like that. And it's not even that. It goes even worse because at the end they split us into 2, and they were taking phone calls to follow up with us a week later to see if we made any progress. And the person in front of me, she said that actually she didn't want to have it with that black person. She said, obviously she didn't use the word, but she said, can I have it with the other person? She just made an excuse for that. And you could see how uncomfortable he was. By the way, that the white guy was uncomfortable as well. Anyway, they've decided that. And then I was the next person, and he was like, are you okay? He even said, like, are you okay to have it with me? I was like, of course I'm fine. And of course it went well. But you could tell how, like, all those situations, I'm guessing that's not the first time something like that has happened to him. And it's so much harder. I just realized how much harder it is if you have to break this barrier from the moment you appear sometimes. And you have this confidence about you, because otherwise it's just like a vicious cycle sometimes, I think.
It is, yeah. So what was probably happening for that facilitator was that he had to step up, and he felt that he probably had to be better than his white colleague. However, when he noticed people's physiology in the room, that sent a vibration to him. And instead of him stepping up and saying, I can do this, he kind of sort of sank back. And that came across in the way that he spoke, the fact that he was looking across to his colleague. And he could have been new at doing that role in any case. But because of his colour as well, it then meant that the people in the room weren't sure that actually what he was telling them was valid and needed to be validated by his colleague. But that had a knock-on effect in terms of that what he gave then wasn't acknowledged. So he probably put an awful lot into that training, and preparation, but it wasn't validated because the people in the room didn't feel his confidence, and that didn't come across, even though he was probably very, very skilled at his job. Yeah, but it must have been amazing for you to acknowledge it, and I think that's the most important thing, is that you acknowledge what was going on. But seeing it from that facilitator's point of view, you probably went home and thought, oh my God, that was a shit for me.
I was like, I'm definitely going to have this call with you next week.
And can you imagine having to do that every single day as a trainer, and having to deal with such a difficult topic when you're talking about diversity and inclusion and people's views and their feelings, and then feeling that you're not able to be your authentic self in the room, just to explain, because you're in a room full of people who are all different to you. It must have been really, really difficult.
I love to do all diversity and inclusion leaders. There's still more work for us to do. And because we're talking about those subtle things that many people don't really pay attention to, which makes it a little even more difficult.
It is. I think there is lots more work to do, but I think we have to have a vision of something better than where we are right now. And even though it seems really hard, seeing this, for some people, within organization, if you ask any of the senior team, the reason why they probably haven't got anybody of an ethnic minority in their boardroom is because they can't even visualize what that might look like. They can't visualize it. They can't see it. It's not tangible. So, it just doesn't happen. So unless you've got somebody who's got vision to make things happen, it won't happen. So there needs to be lots of people like us who have got that vision to create that difference that we need to see.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Louisa.